I am feeling in a silly, goofy mood today because this is my third time recording this video. I've had technical difficulties the times before, and so I really just don't want to be here, quite frankly. And I am going to be short and sweet and tell you exactly why you should not move to Ukiah. And it's because of me, because I live here, and that's the reason why. I'm just kidding. I'm a great neighbor, okay? So let's get into it. Hello, my name is Kasie Gray, your homegirl broker associate here in Ukiah, California, and I have lived in Ukiah my whole life. I came up with this list all by myself because I've heard so many people, mostly on Facebook, complaining about Ukiah, why it's bad, why it's terrible, why it's the worst, why it's just not a good place to live. So I'm going to tell you what those reasons are, straight from the heart and the truth and the minds of the people on Facebook. I didn't ask them, but I just know because I am in Ukiah Facebook groups. So a lot of agents do this and they're like, oh, don't move here because it's too perfect. The weather's too nice. The homes are just immaculate. Don't move here because of that. So I'm going to be really real with you and tell you exactly why you should move here. Number one on the list is economic opportunities. So a lot of the times with clients, you know, from personal experience, a lot of the times people are moving here because they're relocating from another town because of a job that they landed here. I believe that this statement is only true for people that grew up here and are too lazy to get jobs that actually create development and growth and or just don't know how to be creative. Because I posted the other day on my Instagram and I said, you know, how much are you making? What's your job? And there was a lot of responses that were on the lower end, and I then went on Indeed and I said, you know, what are the jobs out here? I haven't looked in a long time, so let's see. And there were a lot of opportunities with not a whole lot of requirements. So the issue is that we don't have a Masonite anymore, we don't have a retech anymore, we don't have some of those large factories that were here. You know, we do have a couple like Factory Pipe, but like a lot of companies have moved, you know, out of California, out of the US, and it's just not profitable for them to be here, whether it's tax reasons or whatever. But I think that's just the market shift, and you just got to find new ways. But there are so many different resources, whether it's different trades or, I mean, there's like 10 hair salons in town, and I mean, you just kind of got to be creative, you know? Number two on my list is it is so hot. It has been so hot during the summer, and you know, I think that just is a heat wave happening, global warming, some may say. I don't know if it's going to change, if it's always been this way. It does seem like it's been more like consistently hot. Like I remember most years we have like a few summers that are more hot than others. And honestly, to be honest with you guys, I just had a baby this year, so I've been spending more time at home and not in the office, and so I've probably noticed that it's more hot because you shouldn't live here because people listen to their music too loud, apparently. I don't know if you could hear that, but it was really loud. So I've been home more than I normally am because I'm in the office most days during summer, and I'm used to a controlled climate, but I really do feel for the people that have to work outside. Number three on my list is no good Italian food. There's none. We have one good steakhouse, the Broiler, and I don't even get steak there. I get lamb chops there. Mario's is gone. We have lots of pizza places, but they don't really offer like pastas and stuff. None that are like go sit down fancy Italian restaurant, you know? And I just really want someone to move here and make a good Italian restaurant, because I will give you all of my money. You will make $1 million off of me over the course of my lifetime, and I promise you it'll be worth it. So please just move here and make Italian restaurants. Number four on my list is the homeless population. You know, as someone who grew up here, and you know, kids I feel like don't really pay attention to the homeless people. I do a lot of activities where a lot of homeless activity is. Like I said in a different video, I go on rail trail walks all the time, and I work downtown, and you know, as I can see, in the areas that they mostly populate, like there's oftentimes broken windows, a lot of trash and stuff like that, and it's very unfortunate. But being the county seat, which means, we are where the jail is, we are where all of the resources are, it just means that we're going to have more people, transient like people, and it's unfortunate, but I think it is what it is, and we live in California where the conditions are pretty much bearable and there's lots of resources. So, somewhere like Arizona where it's 120 to 120 degrees all the time, people aren't really seeking out a homeless lifestyle there because you kind of need air conditioning. And then, places where it snows often, temperatures do get low, but they also are, I guess, bearable, not for me personally, but for other people. And so I think as long as you live in a place where the conditions are somewhat, delightful, there's going to be homeless people, and I think, it is what it is. That's why we need to put effort and volunteer where we can and try to make the place that we live a better place, as much as we can. Meaning we can only do so much, but also we can do a lot more than just comment on Facebook and complain. So number 5 on my list is lack of activities for children. We used to have a bowling alley, we used to have a skating rink, we used to have like a little place where kids could go play, and it got burned down. The skating rink got sold because they retired because people never went. Bowling alley got bought out by Harbor Freight, and I'm sure lots of people love how cheap Harbor Freight is, but I mean, it's an unfortunate thing. It is sad, and we do have to be more creative. We can't just go indoors and be like, here's $20, can my child jump for 5 hours and get out all the energy? But we also do live close enough to Santa Rosa that has lots of those resources and activities. And then of course we're not too far from the Bay Area, and then of course we're not too far from mountains and nature. And of course I understand that we live in California and there's smoke and it's hot and it's cold, but you just have to kind of figure it out, as a parent. I mean, it's sad, and I wish that we had more things to do, but we also need someone to step up and do it. I see all the time people complaining on Facebook about how we don't have anything for kids to do, but I don't see anyone putting their money where their mouth is. If you think an activity center for children would do so great, then why don't you invest in it? I would love for there to be an epicenter. I would love for there to be a jump place. I would love for there to be a bowling alley. I would love for there to be a skating rink again. But is there actually money? Why did those people stop doing it if it was such a lucrative business? And if it isn't a lucrative business, then you need to find someone that has a passion for it and is okay with not making a living off of it, because that's what a lot of the small business owners around here do. They don't make a living because people like to complain instead of participate. Number 6 on my list is lack of new housing. The last large subdivision that we had come in was built in 2001, and we've had a couple new builds since, but not as large of a scale as that. There's some proposed developments, but with the way California's going and the way prices are going, I don't know how realistic that is. A lot of the new construction that we're seeing is, government funded housing, whether it's for farm workers or seniors. There's money in that because it comes from the government and they're not paying for the whole project by themselves, which is not the case for single family homes that people like nurses and teachers and realtors should be living in. It's houses that people get and they don't move out, and doesn't help our circle of housing. And also, we need some new houses. So number 7 on my list is the streetscape. It has ruined our downtown, according to the people of Facebook. It has made our downtown a terrible place to drive, a terrible place to enjoy food, and lots of other things. So don't come downtown if you don't want to have people going 25 miles an hour past you instead of 55. And don't come downtown if you want to not have to risk your life for crossing the street. if you want to be able to cross safely and cautiously, and don't come downtown if you don't know how to drive, because those people get their tires popped. So number 8 on my list is marijuana. As long as I can remember and long before that, marijuana has always been a large part in our community, and if you're not comfortable with that, if you're allergic to it, if you don't believe in it and think it's terrible and the devil's lettuce, then it's not a good place for you to live. Just like I wouldn't suggest you move to Humboldt, just like I wouldn't suggest you move to Santa Cruz, just like I wouldn't suggest, no, just kidding. It is what it is, I believe, and I don't think that our community would be half of what it is if we didn't have marijuana money, whether it's from people working, growing, manufacturing, processing, all of the above, working in the dispensaries. Our money, our economy depends a lot on marijuana, and it's money that comes from it. So like, it's job security for the sheriffs. So I think if you don't like it, then you should go to a state where it is very much illegal, because all of California it's legal to have marijuana. So I mean, probably just need to go to a different state. Number 9 on my list is fires. California is on fire like 6 times out of the year, and it is 6 months out of the year, and it's unfortunate, it's scary. We deal with PSPS, which was where they shut off the power to prevent fires. We're dealing with bad air quality from smoke from surrounding fires. We're dealing with a lot of bad things that happen from fires, you know, cause and effect, of course. And whether we get lots of rain this year, that just means that more stuff's gonna grow, and then it's gonna die, and then there's gonna be more fuel. You know, the West Hills haven't burned in a long time, and it's only unfortunately a matter of time before that happens, and hopefully we've set up enough preparedness for it to go out quickly when it does, and if it does. And then of course you need to make sure you have insurance, whether it's renter's insurance or homeowner's insurance. Even if you have your home paid off, it's still a great idea to have insurance, which is something that a lot of homeowners in Redwood Valley did not have when it happened, and were displaced by the fires and had no insurance money to help them out. So it's very unfortunate, and it's sad, and you can't predict it, and you can't prepare enough, but it is something that's, you know, an imminent threat to us. So just be prepared if you're planning on moving here. I know lots of people have moved out of state because they have PTSD, which is, I totally understand and totally get. Number 10 on my list is the cost of housing. To get a bad fixer-upper in a less desirable area of town is still a lot of money, and it's more money than you can rent it out for, and it's more money than you can fix it up and put it back on the market for, and it's still getting multiple offers and going above list price. And so it's just unfortunate how expensive things are, and it is what it is, I guess. And hopefully we're able to build some new houses and kind of level out the field, and, you know, have some sort of circle of housing life where, you know, it would be great if we had apartments where people could live when they're, you know, starting out their careers, and then move into single family houses, and then move into their forever houses, and, you know, circle of life. But we just don't have enough houses, and it's unfortunate, and it is, like I said, what it is. It is what it is. So those are the reasons why I think you shouldn't move to Ukiah. Also need you to understand that I live here. I've lived here my whole life. I'm probably not ever going to leave. So I do like Ukiah. I love Ukiah. I think it's a wonderful place to live. I think it's a wonderful place to grow up, and I think it is what you make it. And I think that if you're having a bad experience, it's because you're not putting a good experience out there. And so whether you need to go volunteer more, or you need to stop watching the news so much, whatever it might be, I think that wherever you live is going to be the same way that it is now. And if you need to move to make your life better, I think that's the right choice for you, whether it's to Ukiah or away from Ukiah. But I don't think the right choice for you is to just complain and hate your life all day long. So thank you so much for watching. If you have something, a reason as to why you think someone shouldn't move to Ukiah, feel free to comment it down below. If it's respectful, I will leave it up. If it's not, it will get deleted. I'm sorry. This is not a free country on my YouTube channel, and if I don't like what you have to say, I will delete it. So thanks for watching. I'm sure it'll be a little controversial. Sorry if I hurt your feelings, but I'll see you in the next video.